Good day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. So we'll be doing a play and explain session here with a microstakes session I just played earlier on March 19th of 2021. So let's go ahead and start. So first hand, we have King Jack on the button. So one limper. This is a race, of course. Limper calls, flop King 10-8. Check. Of course, it's a bet. Now our opponent check raises all in. So the question is, should we fold or should we call? If you're thinking that we should call because we have a king, that's one way to think about it, but it's actually the wrong way of thinking. In order for you to be good in poker, you must really think of why you are why you're calling, why you're folding. So basically what our opponent is saying here is he's not afraid or a king of a king, or either he doesn't believe that I have something or I have a king. So if he's not afraid of a king, he could have like king 10, king 8, or maybe queen. On the other hand, if he doesn't believe I have a king, he could be doing this with like flush draws like a7 suited, ace jack suited, straight draws. So basically what I'm telling you is there are just too many hands that he could be doing this as a bluff compared to the hands that he could be doing this if he is not afraid of a king, like if he has king 10 or king 8. So that's the reason why we are calling on this spot. So he has 10-6 cards. Win. Next hand. We have like, let's see this one, ace 8. Of course, this is a race. If you play a hand, we should be racing. Queen 5-6. Check. I believe it's still check. If I check the flop, I'll be checking that side. Now opponent bets. So we basically have like a bluff catcher here. Um, if our opponent has a queen, he could have big bet on the flop more than the turn, right? So we can eliminate that. If he has a jack, he could bet on the turn or not. Maybe he says jack. So basically he's just saying he has a jack, or maybe it's nothing. So we have like a bluff catcher. And what comes into play here is like the theory of levels of thinking, because we check the flop, we check the turn. Our opponent is thinking like level 2 that we don't have a queen or we don't have a jack. So what we need to do is think one level higher. So what does our opponent think we have? He doesn't think we have a queen. He doesn't think we have a jack. So in that case, that's a very big reason for him to bluff. So this is actually a very good spot to catch that. Next, this one, queen king. Again, if we play a pot, we should be raising. So one color, we flip trips. Very nice. If you notice, I just bet very small, like less than 25% of the pot. So it's because on a queen queen three board, it's very hard for two players to hit something. It's like you must vary your bet sizes based on the texture of the board. If the board has many flush draws and straight draws, you should bet bigger, and dry boards bet smaller. Actually, check raise here. He doesn't believe that. He doesn't believe that we have a queen. So basically, we just need to call this and give him rope and do the betting for us. Continue. So call. I hope he still bets here. Let's check. Of course, we need to bet for value in case he hits something like an ace. Now, so next, let's try this deuces. If I remember it well, we turned the hand to a bluff. Top is 10-3-4. So that's a continuation bet. Opponent calls. Turn is king. Our question is, should we continue betting or put double barrel? Obviously, the king is part of our range. We can just easily represent. So we could have king, queen, ace, king, something like that. But if you notice the stack size is like 75 left, 70. If I put like 20, 30 here, he can just put me all in and I'll be forced to fold. And my hand has still some value in case he has like a flush draw or straight draw. Check that. Reverse queen of spades. Well, this river is actually a perfect card for us to bluff because we raise the flop and check the turn. So we could easily have a flush draw and complete our flush on the river. And with that spade and him checking, we could eliminate what we said on the turn that he could have a flush draw. So if we analyze his range, he could easily have a 10, 3, or 4. And we cannot win against that. And the queen of spades is a perfect card for us to bluff. So we bet fold. Other hand, 10-10. So the G raise here. So this is the first hand we're facing a raise where we're actually not the first one raising, I think. So with tens, I like to three bet this kind of hands, but if you look at the stack sizes, he's just like only have like 60, 64, and he raised 8, and has 56 behind. So if we'll be three betting this one, we actually need to three bet small. Because with tens, if you three bet big, you'll be forced to call the all in if he four bets. So by just three betting small, we'll give ourselves a chance to fold in case he has something. Yeah, just call. Now check check. So this is a three bet bet. So three bet pot. So basically our ranges are very narrow. I could just have aces, kings, queens, ace king, and if I bet here with those ranges, you could just easily fold. So most of the time I check these flops. Even if I don't have that and I have tens, I also check. Jack, river. Still the same, very narrow range. This is a hand I could hit with. Maybe I have Jack, Jack, or Queen, Queen. But with the stack sizes, I could just like go ahead and check call the river. Could easily have eights, nines, sevens. So that was actually a three bet pot. Well, in three bet pots are more complicated because of the adjustments in ranges. So we'll just I may make a video of it more about that later. But let's see here. We have Queen nine. I love Queen nine, so Queen nine suited. Love Ace Jack seven. See bet. Yes, we see bet. Continuation betting because we can easily have an ace or jack. There's one caller. Pony check. So the question is, should we continue betting? Well, actually, this is a card we can continue betting with because now we have chance of winning. However, if we bet here, he can put a raise and we'll be in a very different or difficult situation. This is actually like spots where you can think ahead of what could happen. Um, if you check here, you can actually get a free river. It's like a free card play. You bet the flop, then the turn comes your opponent check. You can actually check behind and see her for free. Since we actually now have a chance with the hard draw. We get there. Point bets. Of course, we're racing here. Opponent folds. I'm sorry. Next hand King 10. This is actually the biggest pot on this session. So player on the bottom, raise, call, defending my blinds. It's trips 10, so good. We check because we expect our opponent, but yeah, there's nothing really to be afraid of. So just call. Then we hit quads. Check. Opponent bets. So what I was thinking here on the turn, like if I call, there's like around 150. There will be like 150 in the middle, and I have 250 more, 250 more left. It will be very hard to like get value or maximum value by just calling. So I decided to min raise. And guess what? Put me all in. Sweet. Next. Let's check this one. Ace king suited. Of course, this is a raise. Flop a flush draw. Opponent leads out with a pot-sized bet. So what should be our play? Like we have too much equity or chances to win this hand. Actually, in this kind of situations, you need to play aggressively because if you'll be called, you still a very high chance have a very high chance of winning. That's what we did here. Folds there shows a 6. Now let's go to the last two hands. King queen suited. Again we raise. That's how we should play. If if we enter pot we should be raising. So we have trips again, trips. Point bets we call. There's nothing to be afraid of. So dummy calls. Turn was a deuce. Check. Think a bet here. Yeah. Well, this is actually a very interesting situation. On the turn I raise uh this dummy we raise minimum. The other one call. On a king 8 board, I already have a king. I know that. There's only one king left, so what could the other opponents have, right? Who would lead out? He could have a king, he could have an 8, I don't know. Dummy also called after I called. And this is a very odd situation for this kind of board. Just go ahead and check what happened. Check. So why did I check there? Oh, okay. Actually, I thought Dummy has a king here and he will be betting for value on the server, so I was check raising because he has only like 179 left. Yeah, unfortunately, he checked. Last hand, 10 jack suited on big blind. This hand we could defend with. Puppies, king 5. So I actually put a bet here. So this is like a squeeze or a delayed squeeze. Like dummy is the original raiser and or the call before the flop. I can actually re-raise there. It's like a squeeze play. It will be very hard for them to call. So I'm representing very good hand. With this, it's like a delayed squeeze because dummy is the original raiser, but dummy call with a fold. With dummy calling that and still Rudo acting after him, he could easily have a king or he could have eights, sevens. Like on this turn, the ace turn, this is actually a very good hand for us to barrel. We had a flush draw, now we can actually win with a queen. I think that's what we did here. Yep. Now we missed Dummy, I call on the flop, call on the turn. Now, I did say earlier that he could have eights or sevens, but with that call on the turn, he could easily have a king. Yeah, that's why maybe I check here and not continue with the third barrel after having ace. So that's all. Thank you for giving time listening to this. This is my first poker content. If you like videos like this one, just tell me on the comments or whatnot. Thank you.